What's going on, everybody? Brandon back here with another review of 8 weeks to Sealfit. Recently just completed week 4 of Sealfit, about at the halfway point now, and got a few things to say about it. Let's get into it. So, pretty much judging it all weeks so far, this week has by far been the hardest, just for going continuously straight 5 days a week. And also, there's a few new routines thrown in, and also a bit of a shift with the routines in general, just how long they've become. So, the style and structure of the week is still the same. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are your strength training days with heavier weight, lower rep ranges. And Tuesday is pretty much more higher set with more bodyweight exercises. And of course, Thursday is your day for grinder PT and LSD. So a few things that have changed so far with this coming week. The grinder PT and LSD routine, the previous week, it was to go for 20 minutes for each individual exercise. Now it's ramped up 5 minutes, so now you're going to go for about 25 minutes on grinder PT and 25 on LSD. The exercises for strength for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. How it's gone so far is about mid-routine, you would do your strength exercises, your 5 sets for about 5 rep range of higher weight for whatever exercise. And then afterwards, typically there would have been a AMRAP exercise or just a completion for time exercise. It was pretty challenging, but in that area, after your strength routines, they definitely ramped up the difficulty. So Monday, for example, your end routine is going to be a CrossFit routine, Nancy. On Wednesday, it's going to be another CrossFit routine, which is Angie. And then Friday is another CrossFit exercise to end it all, which is one of my favorites, Fight Gone Bad. And going into these routines, typically I've never been too horrible at them. I haven't really tried Nancy or Angie before. I have done Fight Gone Bad a few times. Going into them after strength training exercise, especially when you give it your all, considering these are much higher rep ranges for these exercises for the CrossFit, it was definitely a challenge to get through them, and I felt the strain about, Thursday morning or so. So on the strength training exercises, some of them come back around. Predominantly, it's going to be focusing on back squats, overhead squats, and push presses. And for those 3, they've been either in the first or the second week in strength training. And looking back at it and comparing my max weight for the 5 rep range, it's actually gone up for 2 of the 3 exercises. So for back squats, originally my max for a 5 rep range was about 130. Attempting it this time around, I was able to get up to 185. For overhead squats, my old was about 65 pounds, and the new for me this week was 95. And the push press really didn't change at all. It was the same. It was about 135 pounds. So I have seen some good strength improvement just from when I attempted these exercises a few weeks ago. Again, for me, I'm pretty happy about that because predominantly my strength isn't in lifting a lot of weights. I'm more endurance and runner, so I'm used to more of the long-going, high rep range exercises. So pretty happy about the strength improvement that this is providing so far. So a few things that have changed just generally throughout all the exercises and the days. The sets have increased just for the random exercises you're going to do and the rep ranges. So I've noticed that these exercises each day, or the routines in general, are just taking a lot longer to get through. And looking ahead for this week coming, week 5, it makes sense. Again, grinder PT and LSD, it's up to about 25 minutes now each individually. And some new routines that were thrown in there was using a GHD machine. And this is probably the first exercise where I've had to improvise and use a recommended different exercise just because my gym doesn't have one of those machines. So I ended up doing a bunch of weighted decline sit-ups to kind of compensate for that one. And another one, which I've done it before, but it's been years. It hasn't been part of my usual arsenal of routines at the gym, was a Turkish Getup, and use a 45-pound dumbbell for that. And I actually really enjoyed it. It was a good challenge, a good change of pace for a minute. It was pretty much just do as many as you could in a 10-minute period. And yeah, really good exercise for balancing and abs and legs and everything involved. Judging off the routine so far, there's still not too much running involved in these routines. The longest distance you're going to run is probably a quarter mile. For one of the CrossFit routines, though, accumulated, I believe it was about 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles accumulated total distance that was traveled running, which I'm not complaining too much about. Coming into this new week, it looks like the miles are going to ramp up pretty quick. But pretty much what I've done for that, just because it is such a short distance, I pretty much just straight sprint it, and I can hit those sprints at about a 6-minute mile, and I usually don't take those short distances slowly. So still not too much running, but not complaining. And at the halfway mark, going into week 5, and judging off what the book has said for the intro, it's a bit longer of an intro this time coming around for the week. The difficulty is going to ramp up a lot very quickly, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because judging off of the first exercise for this week, it'll be the first one where you have to run straight 3 miles at the end of your exercise with a bunch of other goodies. So far, seeing a lot of strength gains, which is good. And again, as a runner for endurance and body weight for higher rep ranges, my recovery has always been really good. For strength, otherwise, it hasn't been the best in the world, especially if I have to lift heavy weight consecutively and then move to another exercise that's lifting heavy weight consecutively. I haven't been the greatest at recovery, but I have noticed with this routine that has changed a lot, especially in Fight Gone Bad. I was able to get through all the weightlifting exercises longer, and again, just for the strength exercises for the 5 rep ranges, that I've been able to get a lot more weight up and not feel as gassed when I was waiting and recovering through each routine. So seeing good results so far. I'm at the halfway mark, feeling good about it. And let's see what this week has to bring.